So
This
this topic,
conference will now be recorded.
so this is basically you're just going to learn about AEM authoring part. So when you come across like AEM authoring, so here in the when you just take any of the tool like AEM or any of the content management tool, you have four things. Okay, so first thing would be is like a you'll be having a backend development team, then you'll be having a front end development team, then you will be have a AEM tester as well as a AEM author who will be like authoring the data in their websites. Okay, so basically what testers will do is like they'll test the components and then they'll give it to the content authoring team. So content authoring team will be taking the actual requirement from the business and then they'll be authoring the pages as per the business requirement. Okay, so we are going to talk about the AEM authoring, and basically AEM is one of the CMS. What do you mean by CMS and why do you need that CMS, and what is the use of AEM, and then what is the what are the topics that we're going to cover in AEM. So all those topics we'll just see this in the today's demo. Okay, so our agenda for today's demo is like first topic is like why CMS is required and what is the main use of CMS. Second thing would be is like what are the different kind of CMS that are available in the market, and when you have different kind of CMS, why is AEM preferred? So out of that CMS, right, why are you preferring AEM? So that topic we'll just see. And if you are starting the sessions going forward, like what are the topics that we'll be covering as a part of AEM? So those are the topics also we'll just get on. Okay, so first thing, why CMS is required and what is the main use of CMS? Basically, CMS is a content management system. Okay, so before talking to the content man, like before talking into AEM, AEM is also one of the CMS, like it's one of the content management system. So before learning AEM, you just have to have a heads up on what is CMS and what is the main use of CMS. Okay, I'll just give you an example for CMS, like why we have to use a CMS. Okay, now let's take an example of any e-commerce application, be it Flipkart or Myntra or Amazon. So I would take an example for Amazon. So once you log into Amazon website, you will be seeing a different kind of banner scrolling towards. Okay, or else what I'll do is like I'll just simply show you one example. Stop this. Okay, so Apple is also one of the website that is built on AEM. So I'll just explain you like why we have to use AEM or like CMS kind of. Okay, so let's take an example of this one. Okay, so this is called basically if you're not using CMS when you land on any of the applications. So this is how your website looks like. So now in the Apple website they just gave like far out watch tomorrow at 10 a.m. PT. Okay, so let's say this particular thing is applicable only till tomorrow. Like the event is going to be conducted tomorrow, and when you click on this particular event, you will be navigated to the respective event page. So after tomorrow, they have to incorporate some other data in this particular module or section or something. Okay, now let's take an example. You're not using any CMS tool. So in that case, what you have to do is like once this particular event is done, then you have to take a help of the front-end developer, and then he has to change the data based on the requirement of what is coming next, and then he has to check in the code and he has to then a tester has to verify that, and it's a long process. Okay, but when you're using any of the CMS, what they'll do is like they'll just create one component for this particular functionality. Let's assume this is a banner component. Okay, in that banner component, they'll just add a few fields. Like in the banner component, you'll be able to add a background image, you'll be able to add a foreground image, then you'll be able to add a title, then you'll be able to add a description, then you'll be able to add a CTA, which is call to action button, or a link, you can just call it. And when you click on this link, this will take you to the respective field. That path field also they'll just put in the component. Okay, so using that particular component using CMS, so what happens is like tomorrow you don't need a like whenever this event is done, and if you wanted to incorporate new other event into this particular module, so you don't need to take a front-end developer help. So what content author will do is like content author will just take the requirement from the business. Okay, what is the event that is going to be conducted tomorrow or day after tomorrow? So what are the data that I have to put in? So what you will get a requirement from the business like, okay, this is a background image I wanted, this is a foreground image I wanted, this is a title, this is a description, and this is a link, and when the user clicks on this link, he has to take to that event page. So this kind of data you'll be getting from the business requirement, and here content authors will just get into the picture, and then they'll just create the content, they'll just publish the page, and they will make this content available for the targeted audience. So this is a main use of content management system. Okay, so if you wanted to nowadays, like as I said before, like nowadays the websites, the data in the website is like changing frequently. So today, if you see in the Apple website that I explained you before, you have one event today. So day after tomorrow, when you just see, you'd have some other event. So which means like the data in the pages is getting frequently changed. So that's the reason. So you have to, if you wanted to effectively validate those changes or maintain those kind of changes, you need one of the CMS. So CMS is a piece of a software that is used for creating and managing your websites. So that's the main use of CMS. Okay. So as you already worked on WordPress that you were saying before, so that's also one of the CMS. So similarly, like WordPress, you have a different kind of CMS. Like AEM is one of the preferable CMS, and then we have Sitecore, then we have WordPress, Drupal, Documentum, SharePoint. So all these are like a content management systems based on the based on the need company will be using. But most of them are nowadays, most of them CMS preferred tool is like AEM. So these are the different types of CMS we have. And what is AEM and why do you prefer AEM? So AEM is a Adobe Experience Manager. The abbreviation of this is like Adobe Experience Manager, and this is a paid and licensed tool. Okay, and why are you preferring AEM is like you can just enhance all your customer digital experience using AEM. Based on the customer requirement, you will be able to create your websites. Okay, and the other thing is like this also have a top class features like workflows. Like if you wanted to trigger anything automatically, then you have one of the option called workflows. You can just trigger those workflows. And digital asset management is nothing but it's a DAM in AEM. So when you say digital asset management, so whatever assets or any of the data related to assets is coming from DAM in AEM. So in that DAM, you can just put in, when you say assets, that can be an image, that can be a PDF, that can be a PPT, that can be an Excel file, that can be a Word file, be it any of the file, everything is stored in DAM in AEM. Okay, and that's also one of the top class feature that is providing here. So workflows is one of the major benefit, and digital asset management is also one of the major benefit. And using this AEM, you can just create your mobile applications effectively, and also e-commerce application. Most of the e-commerce application will be built upon AEM. So what they'll do is like for the pricing related data, they'll integrate with some other tool, third-party tools like SAP Hybris or Informatica or SFCC, Salesforce Commerce Cloud. So they'll integrate with that, and they'll just get the prices in the AEM, and the content that you wanted to show in the AEM will be authored in the AEM itself. So like that, they'll be having a multiple integration. So that's also one of the way that AEM is preferred. And the other thing is like topics. So coming to the topics that you're going to cover in the sessions that are going forward. So these are the list of topics that you'll be covering. So first thing is like we'll just get started with introduction to AEM, what is AEM and all. And then after that, we will just set up your AEM instance in your computers just to practice. And after that, we will be logging into AEM, and I'll just demo like what are the key areas that you have to look upon and how does the tool look like, the navigation pattern on. I'll be just explaining when you just get into the third topic. So fourth topic would be like I'll also give you a heads up on what is the version of currently we are using, and what are the past versions. So what are the differences between past version, previous versions, and today what we are using? Like how can you differentiate between, like if some of the interviewer comes and asks you like what are the differences that you have identified between 6.4 and 6.5 or 6.2 and 6.4. So we just get into the previous versions and take a present version, and we'll just see like what are the differences that we are observing, and what are the types of UI. We generally have two types of UIs in AEM, touch UI and classic UI. So we'll just get into that, and what is the type of UI that you're using. And AEM instances. So every AEM instance has two instances. One would be author and the other one is publisher. So dispatcher is used for caching and load balancing. So these are the important topics we'll just cover in this thing. Next sixth topic would be like a template explanation. What is importance of a template? So there will be around 3 to 4 questions around the template. Like what do you mean by template? So whenever you wanted to create a page in AEM, so template is a base kind of. So without template, you will not be able to create a page. So that you have few important topics for template. We'll just discuss that. And after navigation, so once you land onto the page, like how do you create a page in the website's console? How do you copy a page? How do you delete a page? How do you move the page from one folder to the other folder? So all those we'll just talk in the seventh topic. And eighth topic would be like a component authoring. So if you just look up the website, this website. Okay, so in AEM terminology, generally you will just call these as a modules or models or sections, but in AEM terminology we call this as a component. So this is one of the component. Okay, I would say this as a banner, and this is also one of the component. I would say this is also as a banner, and third one is like this is also one of the banners. So like that you have a multiple components authored on the page. Okay, so like that you just have to know like what are the components that you're going to create, how do you create your component, and then how do you configure your component. So let's say if you don't want any component on the page, how do you delete the component, how do you copy paste the component from one page to other page, or within the page how do you just copy the component from one passage to the other passage. And there's a concept called versioning in AEM. So we'll just know like what is versioning and why is versioning used. And after that, as I said to you before, DAM is one of the important topic where you just upload all your files, and you also have a metadata for the DAM. We'll just talk about that in detail. And after that, we'll just take few components like in AEM, like when you join any of the organization. So each it depends on the organization. The name of the components might be different, but functionality would be the same. So as a heads up, like we'll just go over a few of the components like header, footer, title component, carousel component, hero banner component, image, text, link button, and we'll just go on like if there are any important uh, like if you feel like okay, this is a component that I wanted to learn, if you just while practicing, if you wanted to just, these are the major components I'll cover. But while practicing, if you have any like any questions on the components, we'll just take that up as a question and we'll just go over that component as well. And after that, if you wanted to make your page that you're authoring in AEM to the public, then you have to do a publish. Okay, after creating a page in author instance, you have to publish that page. So we'll just go over the 11 topic like what is a page publish, how do you publish a page, how do you unpublish a page, what is the use of publishing, what is the use of unpublishing, so how do you unpublish now, how do you unpublish later. So all those topics we just cover as a page unpublish and publish. Then other one is like a page properties explanation. So that's also one of the important topic we'll just cover. When you create a page, you'll be having each and every page properties. So we will go over each and every tab in the page properties and I'll explain you all those. And 13th and 14th topics are one of the important topics, and these are the concepts that you majorly use in AEM. So these are the experience fragments and content fragments. So what is the use of experience fragments? How do you create experience fragments? And how do you author that on the page? And how do you create a content fragment? How do you author that content fragments on the page? So all those topics we just cover as a 13th and 14th topics. Coming to the 15th topic, whenever you just create a page, whenever you try to create a page in the editable author instance, you have a different kind of modes there. So one would be a structure mode, the other one would be the layout mode. And then how do you implement the policies? Like you have one terminology called sidekick in AEM. So whenever the component is not available in the sidekick, so how do you enable that by setting up the policies? And what are the differences between preview and WCM mode equal to disabled? So all these topics will cover as a part of 15th topic. And 16th topic and 17th topic are interrelated, and these are very important topic. As a content author, I would say these are the most important topics for you guys. So topic number 13, topic number 14, and topic number 16 and topic number 17 are major important topics that you have to focus on majorly. So how do you roll out a page like multi-site manager? What is MSM? We'll just come across. And what is a language copy? What is a live copy? So this is basically a structure. So if you wanted to move your page from language to live, then you have to do a rollout operation. So how do you roll out that page? How do you roll out a component? So all those topics we just get in detail when you're talking about 16 and 17 topics. And coming to 18 topic is like, this is also one of the important topic when you're working for a firm that has a translations involved. So what do you say translations is like in English websites, if you take any website that is available in English Canada, English US, or English Switzerland, those kind of locales, they will use English only. But when you take any of the other countries like Germany, France, Italy, Spanish, or Chinese or Japanese, so those kind of websites, you should not show the English content. You just have to show the translated content only. So how do you perform the translations in AEM? So what is the use of translation? So how do you get your content translated? So all those topics we'll just cover in the topic number 18, and this would be important when you join any of the firm that is involved in multiple countries. Topic number 19 is like just the pixel validation. So whenever like if you're doing any HTML changes, or if developer is giving you HTML script just to input that in the component, so how do you make sure like the font size and how the heading that you gave is working correctly using some extensions? So that is very easy topic, and that we just cover. Topic number 20 is like workflows in AEM. So workflow is basically when you wanted to do any of the functionality automatically in AEM, then you just have to trigger a workflow. So we'll just talk about workflow also. And topic number 21 is like AEM tagging in AEM. So tagging is basically like it's a kind, basically it's for filtering option. So when you say filtering, so let's say you went to the Flipkart website and then you're just searching for iPhone 12 product. Okay, so you will be getting a multiple products related to iPhone. Okay, iPhone 12 will be there, iPhone 13 will be there, iPhone 12 Pro will be there, 12 Pro Max will be there, 13 Pro Max will be there, 13 Pro will be there. So in that case, what you have to do is like you will be having a iPhone 12 checkbox, and when you check the checkbox, only iPhone 12 related products will be displayed to the user. So that's where they use a concept of tagging. So that we'll discuss in detail when you get into the topic. And after that, user admin. So when you say user admin, like every user that is using AEM will not be having the same kind of permission. So whenever if you're a tester, you'll be having a different kind of roles, and if you are a author, you'll be having a different kind of roles. If you're a developer, you'll be having a different kind of roles. And if you're a scrum master or if you're a business analyst, so then you'll be having a different kind of roles. So how do you create that groups in AEM? So how do you manage that groups? We'll just look upon in user admin topic. So this is not basically that important for the authors, but this is generally one of the important topic. Like if you wanted to work in the user admin as an author also, as a tester also, this should be added advantage. So package manager is also one of the important topic for the content authors, like AEM authors, because you guys will be doing a export and import content from one environment to other environment, from stage to production to stage, or stage to QA. So like that, you'll be just importing and exporting the contents. So when you wanted to do that particular operation, then you need a package manager, and you have to know like what do you mean by package manager. So how do you perform package manager? How do you perform package manager steps? What are the steps that are involved in package manager? So how do you create the steps in the package manager? So all those you just have to know. The last topic is like CRXDE. So CRXDE is completely backend tool, but basically as an author, like if they ask you any question like what and all you have worked on CRXDE, so you should be able to let them know like, okay, this is what I have worked on CRXDE. So these are the we'll just cover key areas like what is a folder in CRXDE, where when you create a page in websites console, so where the page is getting created. So all those kind of topics we'll just cover in CRXDE explanation. So these are the topics that we'll be covering in AEM. Yeah, and yeah, this is it for AEM authoring demo. Any questions, Anuradha? No, were you able to get it? You already have experience on CMS, right? So whatever you're seeing in WordPress, the same way it will be in AEM as well, but this is a different kind of tool. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. I have a few questions. Will you be providing the environment for us to work on Adobe environment?
Oh yes, we do. Yes.
Okay.
So for that environment, you just have to install Java in your computer. Once you install Java, you have to set your path variables and all. After that, we will be sharing a drive link. So in that, you just have to download, and then you have to run that executable file. So I'll just explain you. So when you get into that, and yes, you will be getting a instance for practicing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. What was the other question?
So how long is the course?
Including your mock interviews, it would be go around 20 to 25 days. Mostly 25 days, I would say.
25 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be giving a project, demo project where we can work.
Yep. So whatever project that I'm going to demo in our sessions, so that's a base for this. So once you get into the organization, the project name will get replaced with the organization project that you're working on. That's all. Apart from that, rest of the functionalities of rest of the UI would be everything same, because you guys will be working on same instance, same version of AEM itself. Just the thing is like the look and feel, not even the look and feel, I would say, just the project name would change, and the components that we discussed might not be there in your project, but those will be different naming of the components. That's all. Apart from that, as is like whatever functionalities that I told you, right? Author, dispatcher, publisher, and then workflows, translations. The process-wise, it would be as it is wherever you go to any of the organization. But project would be changing. That is common everywhere, and the components that you are using in a component in your project might be changing. That's it. Apart from that, process would be same as it is.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, I'm good.
I see someone also has joined. Kiran? Hello? Hello, Kiran? You're able to hear me? Hello? Kiran, you are.
Srikanth, just one more question. Will you be providing us some materials, any material notes, materials for reference?
So material is reference material is like everything is like it will be available in the experience Adobe Experience link. Like when you create a page, like what are the steps, what are the videos. So I'll just share you that link, and then you can just prepare with that. The other thing is like I'll just share you the important the AEM topics list that we're going to cover. Other thing is like I'll also give you the important questions that you might be getting in the interviews.
Okay.
The reference material, what you're getting in the link that I'm sharing you, that is provided by the Adobe. Moreover, that would be like pretty much enough to get hands-on, because they will be just giving a video itself. So whenever you create a page, how do you create a page? You just have to click on that link, and then you just have to click on that video, and then you just have to see the steps how they are creating a page.
Okay. Okay.
And we will be providing a recording as well. So you can just refer to that recording. You can just refer to that the link that I'm sharing, and you can just refer to the important questions that I'm sharing. And yeah, and anyway, you have an instance itself, right? So you can just keep practicing and then get a hands-on on that.
Okay.
Kiran, you're on mute, but we can't hear you. Are you talking something? Hello, Srinivas. This is done. So the demo is done.
So when are the actual classes starting, Srikanth?
Sorry?
When are the classes starting?
Classes starting. I'll discuss with Srinivas and then get back to you, Anuradha.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah, I will update you, Anuradha. The time conflict is there little. Srikanth, will you be available India 6 a.m.?
India 6 a.m. No, sorry.
Okay. Okay, fine. Anuradha, which time zone you are in?
I'm in Central Timing Zone.
Okay.